Hello and welcome to Greetingstar. I'm so happy that you could join me today. I'm going to be making a birthday card and you can see it right here. And this is a foiling technique that I did using the new release from Spellbinders. This is the Glimmer hot foil plate and it's called So Many Candles. And I'll also be using a die set that cuts out the words Happy Birthday. And then I'm also going to use the back side of this Glimmer hot plate. So this is the rainbow. This is the mini rainbow stripes Glimmer hot foil that I'm going to use today for those candles, and you can see it right there, the GLF 043, and that's also from Spellbinders. And you can see I've got my machine ready to go, the green light's ready, and then I have my die cutting machine right next to it just to make it all a little bit easier. And what I'm gonna do is this is some white cardstock. It's Nina Solar White, and I'm going to attach my Glimmer plate to the cardstock using some low tack tape. And when that is all ready to go, I'm gonna get out my foil and trim it down to size, and then we'll be ready to put it on the hot plate. Now this foil has that gold at the top and also the red. I wanted to try to align it so that the gold would be on the flame portion of the candles. And I did pretty good. The very tips of it look red, but I think it still looks pretty awesome. So I think that's kind of neat. So it just was just a lucky thing that the gold was at the top like that. If I would have pulled it up just a little bit more, it would have been perfect, and it would have been all gold instead of the red at the top. I don't know though, maybe it would have, the next color down may have gotten into it, so perhaps it was best that I did it that way. Okay, now I'm going to lay it down so that the Glimmer plate is against the hot plate. And I did wait just a few seconds because I just put it on even though the plate was ready. And now I'm going to place my spacer pad and my thin shim on it, and I will be ready to run it through my die cutting machine. I put the shim first, and then on top of that was the spacer pad. And I'm just going to run it through slowly to make sure that it gets that good transfer of that foil. And I think this is such a beautiful technique. It works so well. I'm always surprised at how beautiful it looks. And I don't think that I got any overfoiling on this one. Maybe a little bit, I don't remember. But it seemed to turn out perfect and beautiful. Look at that. I did get a little bit on my spacer plate there. And I just used my sand eraser to take that off. It was very easy. Now save that piece of foil there because I'm going to reuse it with the back side of that Glimmer plate. But isn't that gorgeous? I'm just admiring the reflective nature of that beautiful rainbow foiling. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take the leftover foil and put it directly onto my cardstock, another piece of A2 sized cardstock. Again, that's 80-pound Nina Solar White cardstock that I'm using. And this time I'm going to use the back of the Glimmer plate. And I'm going to put that on top, so the paper now is next to the hot plate. And then I'm going to put my two little, the shim and the spacer plate right there, and run it through my die cutting machine. Now this time I'm going to go back out and go back in, just because I'm trying to foil that solid area, the negative space of that foil that was left over. So I wanted to try to, just give it some extra pressure. So I ran it through twice. I'm just going to remove that plate. It's still a little hot, and then we will see the big reveal in just a second. And here we go. I think that turned out pretty good. Not perfect, but pretty good. I don't know, because that's not the intended use for that die, but I think it's kind of cool that you can do that. So now here are the dies that I mentioned earlier. This is also part of the new release for their birthday celebration. And these are the stylized Happy Birthday etched dies. And I'm going to be cutting the background out of the dark purple. And then I'm using this Stick-It for the letter dies because those letter dies are very thin. And this double-sided adhesive that I'm going to put on my cardstock will really help me to adhere those letters to the background without having to use that messy liquid adhesive. So that's what I'm going to do right here, and I'm just going to take it over to the side and trim it down. And once I'm done with that, I'll bring it back, which you see right here. And I'm just going to use my bone folder to put some pressure to make sure that it adheres very well to the cardstock. Okay, so the background dies are going to go on the dark purple. And I've got my platform, I've got my cutting plate, and then I'm going to put the word dies on that light purple. But first I flipped it over so that the release paper is on the back side. And then I'm going to put my Post-it tape on there to hold them in place, because I'm going to flip it over. Evidently you get a better cut if the cutting edge is face up, so that's why I did that. So it comes out very nice. No stuck dies, everything cut very beautifully, no problem. And then I'm just going to remove my die cutting machine so I can get busy. I'm just going to use my tool-in-one to remove all those little pieces and to get the letters out from my die. And these do cut the letters individually, so you just have to remove them. And then they fit on the background just like that. And again, this tool-in-one comes in so handy because it helps me get that release paper off of those small letters. And then you're good to go. Isn't that nice? No messy, sticky, wet adhesive. We just have the that double-sided adhesive on the back, remove the release paper, and you are good to go. So I'm just going to do that with each of the letters in the word happy. And then I'm going to do the word birthday off camera so you don't have to watch all of it. And then I'll be ready to assemble my card. So I think that this font is just such a beautiful font for the word happy birthday. I love it. It's very celebratory and kind of fancy. And I kind of like that. Kind of graphic in a way because of the big loops on some of those letters, like on the R in birthday. And the Y and the H, those flourishes. Very nice. That looks so cool. Okay, now the card I'm making today is a 5x7. So normally I usually make a smaller one, but I decided to make a bigger one because those candles are nice and big. And what I'm going to do here is just cut some strips of the white, of the very light purple. I'm cutting 1/4 of an inch, 2 strips of 1/4 of an inch, and 2 strips of 1/8 of an inch. I was just going to do 1/4 of an inch, but I thought it needed something else. So, but first I'm just going to adhere the front panel of this dark purple cardstock to the front of my card base. And the card base is also Neenah Solar White, but this time it's 110 pound. It's a little bit thicker and sturdier than the piece that I used for the candles. The piece I used for the candles was the 80 pound, and the card base is 110 pound. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere this piece to the front of my card on a sort of a diagonal. And so I'll trim it down, but you'll notice that the bottom corner there is on the left edge, and then the top corner there is on the right edge. And then I'll just turn it over and trim it with my huge Tim Holtz scissors that are so handy for crafting. I just love these scissors. They're so nice. They cut very well, and they're large, so you can cut larger areas without having to continually open and close them. And I really like that. That creates a much straighter cut. And then I'm just going to put that sentiment on. Now that looks okay, but I wanted to add those strips just to kind of embellish the card. And the one is okay, but I just thought it would look a little bit more snazzy if I did another one. So I cut another one that was like a 1/8 of an inch. And I was thinking of maybe doing 3, so then I think I did a 1/16 of an inch as well, but I ended up only using 2. So 1/4 an inch, 1/8 of an inch, and a 1/16 of an inch is what I did. But I only end up using the 1/4 and the 1/8. Because you'll see here in a minute when I lay out the 3, I just didn't really like it so much for some reason. Just didn't strike my fancy. So I thought, nah, I'll just do the 2 strips. And I think that looks better. Yeah, that looks much better in my opinion. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. So now I am going to use some liquid adhesive because I neglected to put the double-sided stick-it adhesive down, but I'd rather save that for my die cuts anyway. This is just a straight piece of paper, so the liquid adhesive is very easy to apply in this case. Then I'll just trim it down. I still have those pieces of the candle piece stuck there to the scissors. But no problem. They came off really easy. And now I'm just cleaning my glue so I can put it on that strip. And I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom, and we will be done with the card. Let me know down below if you like it, what you like about it, or what you don't like about it. Thanks for watching today. I always appreciate my viewers so much. And I'm going to go ahead and leave a link at the bottom for all the products in case you're interested in making them. And the only thing that I have left to do to this card, once I get that second strip adhered here at the bottom, is to just trim it off, and it will be all finished. And I did speed this video up, so I certainly don't move this fast. So there we go. I think it's a beautiful card, and anyone would be happy to get it for their birthday. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.